everyone, I am Eli J. Brown / Eli J. Brony, and welcome to the first episode of The Evolution of a Hero Factory Hero. This is a new series that I am doing since I have decided to rebuild all of the official Bionicle and Hero Factory sets, even as far as sacrificing some mocks in the process. And well, I did already do video reviews that showed some of the individual heroes. Well, of course, not all of them. If you've been watching me since 2011, you would probably know about how I preferred the original 1.0 series heroes over the 2.0 series heroes. And I did do a set review on Stormer XL and Brain Attack series Stormer at the time that those came out. But I never really looked over Stormer 2.0 or 3.0. So in this video, this is where I am going to be doing an evolution video that shows how Stormer had changed over the 4.5 years that Hero Factory had been running. And I will be doing this for all of the heroes, but for right now, this is what I'm going to start off with. I've decided to start with Stormer since he is the Alpha Team leader, though he was not the first hero of the series that I got, the first one being Furno, but I'm going to be covering him in a separate episode. So here we are with the first episode of an evolution video, and I do have plans on doing this for Bionicle characters too. So without further ado, let's start off. I'm going to start at the way beginning, all the way from the start of 2010. So let's take every other character, every other version off the set. At the moment, we'll be looking at them later on. Alright, so first, here we have the original version of Preston Stormer, the version that came out in 2010. Though, of course, I think that I actually got mine in early 2011 because I was a latecomer to the Hero Factory franchise. Anyway, this is the original version of Preston Stormer. He is a white hero, which makes him pretty much like the new Toa of Ice. He does have this ice weapon right here. You can tell that because this part here is a light blue color, and he has a color scheme of being mostly white with some blue added on, such as having blue arms and blue legs, and a blue hero core. And Stormer also happens to be the only hero in the first series to have a blue color head underneath. Of course, it's a bit loose. Well, this one is at least, because there have been some cracks that have appeared in some of the parts over the years, most in particular a number of the Bionicle parts that would often break over time, and the same went for the early years of Hero Factory. Of course, when the character and creature building system came around, that didn't happen as often, though it did still eventually happen anyway. Now here's the thing about Stormer, as well as two other heroes in the series, Bulk and Stringer. And that was the fact that in that series, they only had one actual arm. Although, in this case right here, you can see that I fixed that problem by getting another arm off of Bricklink and just using some sort of method on getting the weapon to work on the actual arm right there. That was not how the set officially went, however. On the actual set, what you would get is, well, you would get this weapon. I'm going to take it off for a moment. You would get this weapon, and you would attach a bulk-up piece right here, and then attach that to the body. So, with half of the heroes in the first series, that is the case that has happened there, where they just take out one entire arm and replace it with this weapon. It does look pretty good on the outside, but when you look at it from the inside, it's all hollow. Well, not so much now, since I fixed the problem by adding in another arm to do that. I really cannot believe that LEGO did not do that, and that was one problem that people have had when the first series of heroes came out, because what if we wanted to actually play with these heroes and not have their weapons? You know, like, just play with them during the casual time. The only thing that we could do, apart from what I have done by adding the extra arm, which is pretty much saying, well, he just has one arm as a weapon. Of course, the whole thing with Stormer only having one actual arm, with the other one being replaced with that weapon, would be fixed when we got into the 2.0 series. Now, Stormer, being one of the veteran heroes of the first series, he has a unique body piece. You do not see this body piece on any of the heroes in the series, which is a concept that he, Bulk, and Stringer share, while the three rookie heroes, Furno, Surge, and Breeze, all share a main body piece design. Alright, so that is Stormer 1.0, as we have called him since the 2.0 series have come out. So now let's go on to the 2.0 series, shall we? Here is Stormer in 2.0 form. This is what he looks like in the second series of Hero Factory. This version of Stormer came out in December of 2010, but was a set that was intended for release in early 2011. Stormer is one of the 4 characters to be returning from the first series, the other 3 being the aforementioned rookie heroes, Furno, Surge, and Breeze, who, in the story by this time, actually graduated from rookie status, but we do get 2 new rookies in the series, Nex and Evo, and of course I'm going to be going over all of those characters in their own episodes. This episode is for Stormer. And Stormer was unique in this series by the fact that in this series, well, he had slightly longer legs than all the other heroes because he uses a pinhole in each one of his legs, which makes him taller than all of the rest. His 3.0 form is the same height as all of the other heroes in this series, but we will go over that in a moment. Right now we are focusing on Stormer 2.0. Now, with all of the 2.0 heroes, he does get a unique armor piece, where it says Stormer 2.0, and he also gets this rubber hose that connects to his back, and this weapon piece right here. This is an ice shield piece, which is used by him and 3 other heroes in the series, them being Furno, Nex, and Evo. And he also has this silver weapon piece that is used on his weapon, which is also a set or a weapon that you get with Breeze in this series. Now, when the 2.0 series heroes came out, we switched from having the translucent hero cores to having completely solid hero cores. So in this case, Stormer has a solid blue hero core. As for the visor, well, it's okay. The Baraki eye that is used on the side of his visor does look pretty cool, and I do like how he has this thing in front of his eye right there. And having the silver be added in, which of course was a color that was not featured on the original Stormer, that's a pretty nice touch too. And these pieces right here are rubbery. So that is Stormer 2.0. Now we're going to go on to Stormer 3.0, and this is him. Now, of course, unlike with the 2.0 version of Stormer, as I have mentioned before, is that this version of Stormer has the normal length of legs. It does not have the pinhole in them. The whole taller hero thing was given over to another new hero that was introduced in the series, that being Raka, but we will be going over him in another episode. And with 3.0 Stormer, there really isn't a lot that has changed between the 2.0 and 3.0 versions, because technically, in the story, the 3.0 upgrade was only temporary, and they reverted back to their 2.0 forms as soon as the Savage Planet mission was over. At least in the television series, that is. Now, Stormer 3.0, much like the 2.0 version, does have a unique armor piece. Though with all of the heroes in this series, the armor piece is in a translucent green color, and there is a printing on there that shows a rhino. All of the heroes in the Savage Planet series had an animal theme to them, and in Stormer's case, he got the rhino, and it says right there, Stormer 3.0. Stormer's weapon right here, which I actually don't understand, by the way, considering that he is a rhino, are these, I suppose they are ice weapons and such. They use the blue spike pieces. Stormer did not have these spike pieces in his 2.0 form, which was something that a lot of the other heroes had in that series. Well, of course, they didn't all have blue spikes, but they did have spikes. And that was something that Stormer did not have in the 2.0 series, but something that he does have in the 3.0 series. And that's for his helmet, the Rhino helmet that is used for this. Well, it looks pretty cool. It does certainly make him look like a knight, though not so much like a rhino. I mean, it does have the rhino horn on top, but the fact that a lot of his actual hero face is used or is shown within the helmet, it's really hard to tell that this is supposed to be a rhino-themed hero. I mean, it's thanks to this horn that tells me that it is a rhino, but it's really hard to identify that because when I look at that mask, I mostly see a knight's mask. That's pretty much all there is to it. Alright, so that is Stormer 3.0. So now we are going to go into the Breakout series that came out in 2012 with Stormer XL right here. Now, Stormer XL is the version of Stormer that came out in 2012. It came out during the summertime, and they already went over Stormer XL when he came out in 2012, so if you haven't seen that video, I would recommend that you check out my Stormer XL review. And this version of Stormer uses this ice weapon. It's two ice weapons, actually. Two of the sword pieces in silver with a blue blade on it. Stormer XL also introduced these bigger feet pieces, which would also be used in, well, some of the later sets, both in Hero Factory and the rebooted Bionicle series. Although I think that the only other sets in Hero Factory that these feet were used in would be the Invasion from Below sets. I could be wrong, but other than them, I can't really think of any other set that they were used in. And Stormer also features the very large main body piece, which was also used in the Ultra Build Hulk set, which came out the same year. And Stormer also has a series of these scout drones. Now, Stormer XL also is a hero that uses some stickers. Of course, we haven't seen any stickers since the villain sets from the first series, so Stormer XL pretty much resumes the tradition of having the stickers be used, and they are used on his scout drones, they are used on one of his legs, and used for his chest piece. And of course, much like with all of the heroes in the Breakout series, Stormer does get his original mask back. I will get original Stormer real quickly, and you can see that it is the same mask that is used. I think that the reason why this series brought back the original masks was because a lot of people did not really like the design of the 2.0 series of heroes, and I kind of didn't, if you didn't already know that. But I grew on them over time, and it certainly is quite interesting to see the original masks come back. Certainly not something that was expected from this series, but nonetheless, it is what happened. And like with all the heroes, Stormer XL also gets a set of handcuffs, which is used to handcuff the villain that he is going after. And in this series case, it is Speeda Demon. And all the heroes also get the white hero cores in this series. So now, let's move on to the next hero, or the next version of this hero, and that would be Brain Attack version Stormer. Now, Brain Attack version Stormer pretty much loses the XL version. The XL goes this time to Inferno in this series. But as I said, we'll look over him in another video. Or you could look at my Inferno XL review that I made in 2013 when the sets first came out. And this is just recapping what I said before. Now, Stormer in this version has these flick missiles on his back, which can turn downward, just like that, so you don't have to be having them be facing upward. And his back is also covered, which was an issue that a lot of the heroes in this series had, with their backs being not covered up. Stormer also features this sort of shield piece, which is a wing piece that was also used for Surge, as well as also for Furno XL, only as a shield in that case. And he also features this ice weapon at the end there. Stormer in this version also has this sword piece, which has also been used by a number of different characters from this point onward. And he also has these white, larger spike pieces, which was also used for Frostbeast, a villain character that came out that same year. And, like with all the heroes, he has this visor that goes up and down, as well as these claw clamps to protect his hero core, which I honestly don't understand why he would need them now. But regardless, that is Stormer in Brain Attack version. And Stormer also has a printed visor, which is something that only he, Surge, and Furno had. The other heroes had non-printed visors. So going over at the way end, we are now at the end of the Hero Factory series, and the very last version of Stormer that we are going to be looking at is the Minifig version. I'm going to bring it over here. Now the Minifig version of Stormer does have the original design of the head. You can tell that the Minifig head is obviously based upon the original Stormer. And all the heroes in the series have this gunmetal or silver armor over on the top, as well as these small arms and legs. You can fit a weapon into Stormer's hand. I don't have any at the moment because Stormer's weapon varies from set to set. Now, the minifigure of Stormer has appeared in the sets of Stormer vs. Jaw Beast, Stormer Freeze Machine, and Queen Beast vs. Furno, Stormer, and Evo. I believe that is all of the sets. Alright, so now I'm going to line all of these characters, not from the order of when they were released, but in the order of height. So, actually I'll line them up like this. Okay, so that is the lineup of shortest to tallest of every version of Preston Stormer that has ever come out. And you can see that there is certainly a very huge difference when it comes to height with Stormer, such as how the smallest is obviously the minifig version that came out for Invasion from Below in 2014, and the biggest being Stormer XL, obviously, that came out in the Breakout series in 2012. Certainly amazing how Stormer certainly has had different heights over the years, though of course the minifig series is just showing the heroes at a smaller scale, so it's pretty much hard to know what, I mean, I guess it would be hard to know how tall this version of Stormer would be if he was in a large-scale version. So that is about it for the evolution of Preston Stormer. Which one was your favorite of the series? Which one did you like best? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye for now.